Okay, let's get started. For those of you watching me on Twitch, I apologize for arriving late. It's currently 2:15 right now. Uh, Obviously, for those of you watching on YouTube, it doesn't really matter all that much. But we are going to be getting back into studying for Pega again. Uh, this time we're going to be doing the challenge adding fields to views. So, which you guys can't really. Nope, nope, you can. Okay, I was about to say, is it showing up for you at all or no? Okay, so um, we completed um the quiz yesterday. Obviously had a few issues with that, so not quite sure. Um, I don't think I got any kind of replies from the suggestions that I made, but I'm running a little late, so let's go ahead and get right into the or okay. So for those of you that are YouTube, if you haven't watched my earlier videos, please do so. For those of you that are watching on Twitch right now, bear in mind I'm working on trying to get the System Architect certification. I'm not an official trainer, you know. This is not meant to replace the instructor-led training, so don't consider it as such. I am not sponsored by Pega in any way, shape, or form. So, um, so don't feel that, you know, my what I say is going to be gospel. There's points where I'm not quite sure about the material. I'm making suggestions to them to try to fix certain things on their web page. So, I don't really have like a direct mediator or anything along those lines. Okay. It would be great if I had a mentor from Pega that could answer my questions, but um, that's not possible at this time. Um, and, um, I need to kind of save what money I have. Otherwise, I might have done the instructor-led training, um, or at least tried to do it again. I had an instructor-led training with my company that I was with, um, but that trainer was typically viewed as not great. Um, you know, I know I'm saying it, and you're not getting any kind of testimonial from anybody else in my particular batch, but believe me, there were problems. So, or at least try to believe me. you know, um, you know, I don't know if that particular instructor is still with the company or not. I would hope that he would maybe go back in and get retrained to be a trainer. I don't know. But we move on. Um, so um, we're working on our system architect certification. There is the business architect certification that is a little bit less than what the system architect. It's more focused on the App Studio than the Dev Studio. We're going to be going into the Dev Studio after we get done with the first two missions. So okay. So let's go ahead and get started on this challenge here. Okay. So this is all about adding fields to views. Now that the stages and steps for the MyTown service request case lifecycle are configured, the mayor and service coordinator have determined the information that is necessary to add to certain steps. Configure the views for those steps with fields that gather and display the information. Some views have been configured by a different developer. The following table provides the credentials you need to complete the challenge. So, um, here's a video walkthrough of all the steps that they're giving. I'm not going to be clicking on that. You can if you want to, But, if you follow these steps, exactly, then you shouldn't necessarily need the challenge walkthrough. Um, Even though there was points where, you know, what I saw and what was shown was different. So, um, so yeah, we're gonna go ahead and copy the username here from when the instance gets created, and then um, we'll go into startup everything. So, mm, uh, I showed the fact that, hey, yesterday, there was a question saying, hey, you can't create, um, calculated fields in a field name creation. It's like, wait, what's this then? All right, here we go. Okay, I can see that it is indeed showing the instance for you all from what I can see from my OBS. So, I'm trying to keep an eye on chat. So if anybody has any like questions or anything along those lines, feel free to ask. Like I said, I'm not like an official trainer, but I will try to answer any kind of questions that I can. Um, and hopefully I can answer them well. Um, and not give you the wrong information. Now, as you can see, the instance is bringing us directly into App Studio. Um, I believe there's a way that you can set it up so that it sends you directly into Dev Studio to start off with. I believe it's just a matter of setting up your profile, but we don't need to worry about that right at this moment in time. So we're gonna move on. Okay, so we're at our very beginning page here. So in the App Studio navigation pane, click Case Types and Service Request. Okay, so here's the navigation pane over here. We hit Case Types. Even though we could probably have clicked it right down there, but and then Service Request to display the service request case lifecycle. In the service request case type, click the report problem step to open the contextual property pane on the right. Okay, so we're going to be looking for the report problem step, not process, not stage, the step. So notice how there's already 4 problems that they are indicating over there. So you can tell that this has already been, you know, set up for the most part. So um, a report problem. So okay, it opens up the contextual panel over here, and then most likely we're going to be going into configure view, but let me confirm that. In the contextual property pane, click configure view to add fields to view. Okay, so the contextual property pane, click configure view. All right, so from there we're going to be doing steps 4 through 6, most likely multiple times. So yeah, here's the report problem for fields. So um, in the fields tab, which is what we're in, not the validations. Let it load up the validations here. Yeah, there we go. We're going to stay in the fields tab. Uh, Click add field to add a new field. In the field name, enter request date. Okay, so let me go ahead and copy that. So we're going to do add field. In the pop-up window, we're going to put the field name down. Request date. There we go. In the type field, select date only. So right there. Click submit and add another to add another field to the report problem view. When the step has multiple fields, use the submit and add another option, which is right there. But we need to make sure that it's date only on this one. So submit and add another. Okay, there it is. Request date, date only. And it's set it automatically to optional. Repeat steps 5 through 7. In other words, add a field, change the type, and change and submit and add another. To create a text single line field name requester name, and add another field to the view. So it's good that they changed the type, even though they didn't really state that this was indeed the type. But we can kind of imply that a little bit. So plus it switches over to this text single line again. It didn't stay at the date only. Um, so we need to submit and add another. There we go. In a field name, enter issue severity. In the type list, select pick list to display the display as and pick list options fields. Okay, so we're going to do issue severity, and then we do pick list, and then we have the display and pick list options. So display as pick list options and fields. In the display as and pick list options fields, keep the default values. Okay, so we have the drop down list and we have local. Okay. It should state those. Now I understand that, like, hey, um, that would be something that they would have to like change if they were ever changing those default values for other versions. I get it, but still, they should probably still address that. They should probably still have those values listed there anyway. I mean, if it's wrong in later versions, then that can be addressed by, someone, doing this challenge that, they can suggest an edit if necessary if they miss it for later versions, but still. Okay, so in the choices section, add choice. Okay, so we're keeping these alone and we have add choice. Okay. An empty field is displayed, which is correct. In the empty field, enter low as a pick list value. Repeat steps B, 10B and 10C to create two additional pick list values, medium and high. So there we go. Okay, so this is what it, what we should be seeing. So issue severity, pick list, drop down list, local, low, medium, and high. Drop down list, local, low, medium, high. Looks good. Click submit and add another to add another field to the report problem view. Re repeat steps 5 through 6 to create text paragraph field name description. Okay, so we're repeating steps 5 and 6, you know, up, up here again. Not quite sure why they didn't, so here's the thing with the fields here. Um, the the what you see, the ordering is like, the order in which you create it is typically the order in which you see it in the view. Um, I'm not 100% sure about how you can, uh, if you can move things around after the fact. You should be able to. But I'm not quite sure if you can do it here within the view. So, right. Um, they didn't say anything about um, the type of display as here for the text paragraph, which is bad. They should have addressed that as well. But we're going to make the assumption right at this moment in time that it has to remain in plain text. So we're just going to hit submit to move on. So, so this is what we should be seeing on there. Date only, text single line, pick list, text paragraph, optional, 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 request date, requester name, issue severity, and description. So everything looks good. Now, again, I don't think that I can like move them around or anything along those lines. I can't necessarily, drag and drop these around. They really should have that option, to be able to just kind of say, hey, instead of this one first, I made a mistake and I'd rather have, description first or something along those lines, but they don't. Um, so it is what it is. For each field and the options list, keep the default value of optional. In the report problem window, click submit. Click save to save your work. Okay, so we're keeping all these as optional. We're going to click on submit, and then we're going to click on save to save the work. So all of them are remain optionals. We click submit. It's taking its time. And then we click save to save our work. All right. So that's all done there. Number of configuration issues decreases from 4 to 3 after you configure the report problem view. That's true. It did. Repeat steps 2 through 7 and 13 and 14 to create the remaining fields by using the information from the following table. Save after configuring each view and notice that the number of configuration issues decreases. Okay, so in the create stage, we're going to create, in the step identify location, we're going to create a field name with the field type of location and it's required. And then in step request updates, we're going to put in field names, request updates, requester email as Boolean and email, and then both of those are optional. So that's what we're going to need to do. So okay, and it was just address for that one, right? Yeah, just address. Now I could move on to the next portion, request updates, but normally, I'm of the mind of, save early, save often, because if for some reason like my computer shuts down like right here and now, for one thing, that's going to screw up my YouTube video, so I would have to like download from Twitch. Um, but that would also cancel out this instance, and all my progress would basically, be lost. Well, I mean, this is an instance, so my progress would have been lost anyway. But what I'm saying is that, if you're working on the program itself, from your own computer, you're using your own, Pega server, you're developing and so on and so forth, and your computer shuts down or the server glitches out or something along those lines, server suddenly shuts down and you don't have access to, you know, um, Pega for some reason, then all the work that you did is gone. So, make sure that you save your work. So, request updates. This is a Boolean. And add another. And then we're going to do requester email. It's going to be an email. Yep, submit. And both of those are optional. Yep, submit that. And we save it. And the issues have dropped from 4 to 1. So it was basically saying, hey, you don't have any way of collecting any information in any of these steps that are supposed to collect information. Please fix that. That kind of thing. So, all right. Add a calculated field to the perform repair view. In the service request case type, click the perform repair step to open the property pane on the right. So, perform repair. So, configure review. All right. Under the field enter row, click add field. In the field name field, enter total time. All right, let me verify that. Oh, they're not showing the completed fields. Okay. Okay. So we can try to like do. So what they should have done up here after you enter, or even before you entered in the field name here, they should, mention the fact that, hey, there's already fields in here that you need to add another one. Okay. Um, so let's verify, repair notes, setup time, repair time, and cleanup time. Um, the only place they can actually verify it is down here. Um, so repair notes, that's correct. Setup time, repair time, and cleanup time. So all four of those are there. All four of them are, fields. So we're good on that, but we need to add that calculated field in there, right? So um, under the field entry row, click add field. In the field name, uh, in the field name field, enter total time. So we're going to grab that. We're going to go here to add field, and we're going to put in total time. Now this is going to be a calculated value, but I'm going to assume maybe integer, but we'll hold off on that for right now. From the type list, select integer. I was right on that one. Expand the advanced section and then select this is a calculated field, read only. So advanced, this is a calculated field, read only. So it opens up the calculation section. So here we do most likely sum of, probably. Um, Probably, but in the function list, select use expression. I was wrong. An empty field is displayed below. In the empty field, enter setup time, repair time, and plus cleanup time. So we're going to go ahead and copy that. But I want to show that um, when you hit the dot, it shows um, a lot of the fields that you can select. You know, specifically, it starts off showing you everything under the My Town. But if you click on more, um, it should open up, basically everything that you can use, including the ones that are under Pega as well. Notice all the PXs, PYs, eventually it'll show PZs. These are all like predetermined, um, you know, already like created fields that Pega uses for the most part. Okay. Um, so so yeah, I mean, this is just for this one application. Okay, these are just you know, kind of just like sitting there waiting for information, or it's already kind of getting information, you know, from various other things. So, you know, I just want to point this out, you know, letting you know that, there's a lot going on in the background of a Pega program. Okay. So don't think that, um, this is something simple and easy and stuff like that. It has a lot of data behind the scenes that you're not really seeing. So okay, so we need setup time, repair time, and cleanup time. So we need setup time plus repair time plus cleanup time. I believe that was correct, right? Yeah. All right. Click Submit to add the calculated field to the view. Click Submit to return to the Workflow tab in the case lifecycle. Click Save to save your changes in the case lifecycle. Um, So we click submit here. That will add the total time, calculated only as an integer. Note to the fact that these times are also integers. Okay, they're not decimals. They're not currency or anything along those lines. Those are integers. And because you're adding all three of them together, you better have an integer here. Now you could potentially use like a decimal, but bear in mind that it's gonna like add, a decimal point and potentially some zeros afterwards. So if you really need that for your, total time, I mean, you can. Don't know why you would have that if you're not using decimals in the rest, though. So just bear that in mind. Okay, so everything should be filled out. We're saving it. There we go. Um, Add a read-only field to the review repair view. So in the case request case type, click the review repair step to open the property pane on the right. In the contextual property pane on the right, click configure view. So we're going to do the review repair. We're going to do configure view once it's done processing. There we go. We have notes, note to technical team, repair notes, setup time, repair time, cleanup time. And they're all pretty much read only except for the notes text paragraph. And that's optional right there. So um, in the left pane, click fields to expand the fields list. In the list of fields, hover your pointer to the right of the total time field to display a plus icon. Okay, so we're going to go to fields. We're going to hover over the, what was it, the total time? Yeah, total time. So we need to scroll on down to total time. There we go. And it will show the plus symbol. So we click on that, and there we go. Total time, integer, calculated read only. Um, so what we basically did was the total time that we did, in the previous step up here, okay, is now a saved field, okay, which we can then reuse. Okay, so what we're doing here, okay, in the review repair, what we're wanting to do is, hey, it's showing the setup time, repair time, and cleanup time, but we also want to show how much total time that is. So we're adding our total time, by, you know, hovering over the fields that is available to us in the, um, for this particular step. Okay, and this covers like a good majority of the fields that have already been created that might have like, um, or might have been created for, by Pega itself, case ID, for example. Um, so, just bear that in mind. Notice the fact that you have check marks next to the ones that are also being shown over here. So, basically saying, hey, these have been added to this particular step. So, yeah, total time field is already read only and does not require additional configuration. So, yeah, this is also read only, so we don't need to worry about that. Click submit to record the changes, and then click save to save your changes on the case study cycle. So, we're clicking submit. And then we're clicking save. Now, most likely, just in case anybody's kind of wondering, this one particular configuration issue is probably talking about schedule repair. Probably. I'm making that assumption. Um, no, it's saying that there's a problem with um, the resolution stage. I guess we already have the schedule repair already done. Okay, whatever. Okay, confirm your work. As you advance through the case, enter any required information and verify that each view displays the desired fields. In the upper right, click Save and Run to create a new service request. In the Report Problem view, click Continue to advance to identify a location view. Okay, so save and run. All right. Now, you see the new service request here. Okay. You see the request date, you see the requester name, you see the issue severity, and you see the description, and you see the continue down below. So there we go. So requester date, um, requester name, issue severity, it's super high. Oh my G, oh my G, oh my G, oh my G. I'm just gonna spam this quite a bit. There we go. Because it's super high, right? No, I don't want it to know my location. Thank you. I'd rather not dox myself. And yes, I totally live in Boston. I totally live. I totally live here. So, um, all right. So, and identify location view. Click continue to advance to the request updates view. So, um, I mean, we can probably just copy this right here. You know, um, one museum. What was it? Museum of Science driveway. Museum of Science driveway. Boston, Massachusetts. Here we go. And then we click continue and move on. But notice the fact that, the identify location is the, you know, location tab, location that is required. So, and know that, you have a star there that's basically saying, hey, this is required. You need to fill something in here. So, okay. Request your email. Let's just go ahead and use their example here, which they don't even put an example request your email in there. Okay. Um, agent at pega.com. Just something random in there, right? Okay. So I'm gonna go and create. All right, there's that. Okay, so now we're in the review stage, right? We didn't modify this at all, so um, we didn't change any of this whatsoever. Okay, so um, so here's the thing. It doesn't show, what's below, the this particular field. So basically, everything here is kind of showing what has already been kind of collected so far, from the create stage. Okay. You can configure it to modify it so that you don't necessarily might not necessarily see a lot of this, but you know. All right, so we're gonna put in the due date of 4/5/2021. Well, we'll see if there's any problem with requester date and um, you know see if there's any problems there. Um, North facing signal. There we go. All right. All right. So we click submit, and there we go. Now, just a kind of heads up for anybody that is, you know, if you're doing this like real life, working on the job and stuff like that. Um, if my request date is basically yesterday and the due date is 2 years ago, there's a problem with that. Um, you know, any programmer worth their salt, worth their stuff, should be looking at the requester date and determining that the due date has to be after this date. So just bear that in mind. you know, Otherwise, what the heck happened, right? You know, how is the due date happening before the request date is even occurring? You know, are you supposed to go back in time and fix the problem? Yeah, no. Okay. In the perform repair view, in the setup time, enter 10 as the number of minutes spent setting up a repair. In the repair time field, enter 80 as the number of minutes spent performing the repair. In the cleanup time, enter 30 as the number of minutes spent cleaning up the site after repair. Now, here's the thing. Um, sure, we have 80 or 10, 80, and 30, right? And total time is 120. Sure. Um, but here's the thing. They're saying, number of minutes. Well, you're not saying that in the in your view here at all. That hey, you should be entering the amount of time that you spent in minutes. So I want to like if you're like doing this in real for real, make sure that you specify hey, please enter down the number of minutes that you spent building this or something like that, or have some instructions or whatever, right? So um, so yep, okay. Supposedly at the end of all this. So far I haven't had any problems for the most part, and I'm close to verifying the challenge. So click submit to display the approval view. So notice the fact that, we have the total time of 120. So, and here's the approval view. Once again, you have the setup time at 10, 80, 30, and 120. Repair notes is equal to fixed, north facing signal, and any additional notes that you want to put in there, you know, and then, click approve to resolve the case. So there you go. Yay! Yeah, so we have completed our challenge. We're gonna go ahead and verify the challenge now to make sure that we did everything that they wanted us to do. Now the verify challenge is basically going step by step through, their checks, their tests to see that, the instance that I created, follow the steps that they wanted us to follow, and which we did. We completed it, so we don't need to worry about, verifying the challenge anymore after that. So we are done. Um, I don't, I don't know if there was anything else that um, I was kind of kicking around about the case type. Not sure if there's like something that I kind of wanted to do, but I kind of stuck a pin in it. Mm, Not 100% sure. So, I think I'm just gonna have to just leave it be for the time being and just, let it go from here. Um, okay, so that's gonna be it for today. We're gonna go ahead and close on down our Pega study for now. Now you have an understanding of how to do, add fields and add calculated fields and so on and so forth. Obviously, they're skipping over quite a bit. And they're not having you do like every other type of, add-in fields, having, different options and so on and so forth. Um, they're not having you do like all the different types of functions. So, if you want to do that, then, you know, reset the instance, you know, reset the Pega instance and just have fun, go ham on it. Add as many fields as you want, you know, change up the fields, you know, change up the calculations and so on and so forth. Just, um, the instance is going to go away. So, use it to your advantage if you want. So, but that's it. That's where we're going to go ahead and close this one down. Um, let's see. Yeah, we're just going to close that. Okay. So, um, so yeah, we're going to be moving on to our just chatting and uploading videos. We're gonna we'll go ahead and tackle the next module tomorrow. Let's see, which one was that again? Um, Creating a data relationship. Two topics, 30 minutes. So this looks like it's going to be a pretty hefty one for the most part. Um, so um, probably two more videos. But we'll get through that. Um, but Yeah, so for any, if you're watching this on YouTube, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Do the normal YouTube thing that would be helpful in that, leave a like, comment, subscribe, share the videos, subscribe, bell notification, so on and so forth. Um, you know, I have um, other coding videos, mainly, in a playlist. So you're welcome to go check that out if you want. I also have other playlists concerning the games that I play. So you're welcome to go check those out if you want. But that's it. Um, I don't think there's anything more to really add to this. So thank you very much for watching. And I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording right now.